murder drones, but retold using only stock photos and videos. Ahem. In the distant future of 3071, the megacorp known as not SC Johnson, but in space, has helped humanity spread across the stars in the name of profit, baby! To assist in mining operations and apparently nothing else, the company has crafted worker drones to assist humanity in its most dangerous tasks. They're around 4 feet tall, all look and sound the same, and I guess have never been used to explore any other industries ever. Come on, you're telling me not a single Joe Schmo looked at a drone frame and was like, can I turn this into Hatsune Miku? We are not exploring this line of thinking any further. Anyway, mining colonies, drones are helping, pulling those precious resources out in droves, and helping humanity and the economy! Yeah! Who doesn't love the economy? Of course, it was never meant to last. Following a man-made disaster that wiped out all of organic life on the mining colony of Copper 9, the once obedient AI-powered drones begin making lives for themselves, taking humanity's place and securing their future. Naturally, not SC Johnson is not pleased and decides to do something about their rogue AI by creating and shipping out the disassembly drones, affectionately referred to as murder drones. Roll the title card. On Copper 9, there are at least 3 of these drone-eating monsters which stalk and haunt every corner of the planet in search of a fresh, oily meal whenever they can get one. This all leads to our main character, Uzi Dorman, represented by this small forklift-looking thing. Uzi is a rebellious teenage robot with a lot of confusing emotions and a growing disdain for the world and the colony she feels trapped in. She's had just enough of these murder drones, especially since they're responsible for the death of her mom, and builds a big old gun to put these killing machines down for good. However, after meeting one of them and seemingly killing it, Uzi realizes there's a lot more going on here than she first thought. For one, the murder drones she meets, which refers to itself as N, makes it clear that not only are murder drones pretty much invincible, able to regrow missing heads and whatnot, they all have names and a simple mission: to murder all the regular drones before they starve. Although, as the series goes on, this plot point about the disassembly drones having to eat the worker drones in order to live, it kind of gets dropped. There's a few plot points in the series that are more so like holes than points. We'll get to a few more soon, but just so you're aware, the series is spectacular in spite of this. A great example of its more fun elements is when Uzi starts to convince N in the pilot episode that maybe instead of murdering all the drones, they could work together and, escape the planet. While excited to do anything, N's words, not mine, he's not exactly super on board to betray his comrades for some emo girl he just met, which proves once and for all that serial designation N is a stronger man than half the people watching this. Uzi decides it's best to hit the road while the going's good and tries to retreat back into the safety of the bunker where the drones are living, protected from the outside by 3 massive doors built by her dad. Speaking of which, looks like N followed her back and now, thanks to Uzi, has found his way inside. One key scene later, Uzi is left for dead by her own dad, and N asks the wrong question to his superior at the wrong time, resulting in his own termination, literally and figuratively. Regrouping, the 2 outcasts decide that instead of letting the other 2 murder drones, their names are V and J by the way, murder everybody, they're gonna stop them and, I don't know, save the world or something. One hilarious fight later that may make you question how the murder drones have gotten anything done so far, V is captured and J is dead. Definitely. Now, with a new friend and a chance to have a better look at the world outside, Uzi and N, and eventually V, relax, she's cool, there's a reason she's the poster girl for the show, begin investigating their origins, the company itself, and who's really behind everything that's going on with the worker drones, the disassembly drones, and the mysterious power that begins manifesting within Uzi. Because I want to get back to redrawing your OCs, check my shorts for those videos, here are some of my favorite moments from the other 7 episodes in this single season indie show. Not counting the 2nd season I wrote, which we can totally watch here on my channel. Anyway, in episode 2, Uzi, N, and Thad, the cool jock friend, come face to face with a mysterious program, calling itself the Absolute Solver, which takes over Jay's corpse, mutating it into some eldritch abomination that attacks them in the inner workings of the bunker. It's very John Carpenter's The Thing. During the battle, Uzi's railgun gets damaged and overheats, exploding and destroying most of the monster, as this time, her dad comes to the rescue. Kinda. Ann and Uzi's relationship is somewhat strained, and she wonders if the same monstrous programming is inside him. And we learn in this episode that the Absolute Solver can apparently not only replace broken mechanical parts, but create fleshy, organic ones out of seemingly thin air. It's borderline magic. In episode 5, we see the Murder Drone's backstory as Uzi explores N and V's memories. Somewhat evasively, we find out who Sin is, and how she was taken over as the Absolute Solver's host, maybe even willingly, and basically went on to murder all of humanity. Also, Jay is an absolute scumbag. I will die on this hill. She is seemingly super loyal to Tessa, the human girl who repaired NVJ and Sin originally, only to just turn on her as soon as Sin takes control and never looks back. Seriously, Jay never shows any regret for Tessa's demise or Sin's conversion of her and her coworkers from worker drones into disassembly drones. In fact, by all accounts, Jay seems pretty happy with everything, not like V and N, who are shown in episode 5 to may or may not have a closer relationship than we may have originally thought. But above all else, we learn in episode 5 that Uzi may be more connected to this Absolute Solver and Sin than we originally thought. From this point forward, I'm going to refer to Sin and the Solver as the same being, because they basically are. Side note, fellas, if your girl ain't willing to invade your mind just to ensure you'll never forget your trauma, does she even care about you? Episode 3 is pretty fun too. It's a prom episode that references the horror film Carrie, with the introduction of the literal red herring character, Doll, who's basically a Russian red mirror version of Uzi, with Russian stuff. Fans really like Doll. I wish I knew why. Tell me in the comments why you love Doll so much. Also, we get fun marketable outfits for all the characters, the first of many, as they get all dappered up. V especially gets a heck of a dress. Seriously, young lady, who gave you the right? Also, Lizzie is in this episode. Everybody loves Lizzie. We also get confirmation that Uzi is able to use the same powers that Sin uses, namely telepathy, teleportation, healing factor stuff, and growing organic body parts, but more on that in episode 4. You may notice as you watch this series that every single episode pays homage to some kind of horror trope or famous horror film. I've mentioned a few already, but the creator, Liam Vickers is a man of taste and has said on record that references are a big part of the show. For example, the disassembly drones are basically robot vampires, which is awesome! The Sentinels, introduced in episode 6, are robotic versions of the raptors from Jurassic Park. Episode 4 is a reference to cabin-themed horror flicks like Cabin in the Woods, Evil Dead, and the Camp Crystal Lake films. Episode 2 takes clear inspiration from Alien, and episode 7 has a bit of a possession vibe to it. Overall, the series is pure fun and robot guts. The animation blossoms as the episodes progress, and by the final episode, it feels less like an indie show and more like an animated feature film. The character designs themselves are simplistic yet distinct, meaning it is super easy to create murder drones themed OCs, something which the community has done in droves. The characters all look different, have interesting personalities, and grow as the series progresses. V, N, and Uzi are notable examples of this progression, and it's nice to see everything culminate in a fun final battle that sees Sin and Jay squaring off against our heroes on Copper 9 as Sin attempts to consume the entire planet. The voice acting is stellar as well, featuring a stacked cast that consists of the likes of Play-Doh Guy, Super Mean Girl from those games that make me feel sick, a really good singer, Mel from the Gaslight District, a cookie, and holy crap, is that Cam Gavinky? The Cam Gavinky? In my Murder Drone show? My hero? I love Cam Gavinky. If you're a fan of indie animation, horror, robots, and robot violence, then Murder Drones is the show I recommend to you. It's fun, action-packed, and other descriptors that Hollywood uses for every stinking movie it makes. But more than that, if you've never seen an indie animated show before, you can't get a much better starting point than Murder Drones. And if you're familiar with indie animated shows, Murder Drones may not change your life, but it'll be an absolute blast from start to finish. Thank you for watching. The best way to support the channel is to read my awesome book, use the link, get some merch, and have a great rest of your day.